Mac Jones has been everything we're telling you he is. He is at least 30 to 50% better than I ever anticipated, not only for us, though, for the coaching staff as well. And that's why you keep seeing so much heaped on his plate, and he finishes it all every single day, except for last Tuesday. He has been outstanding in reads and accuracy. So that means he's a starter? No. The reason? Cam's better than he was. Yeah, there's plenty of throws, way more than Jones, that you go, oh, what was that? But there's still some really good throws, and the running game looks better than him. So I still think he's the default guy. So that's the quarterback competition in a thimble.
All right, so tell me what that means. So Cam is better than you expected. Mac Jones is 30 to 50% better than you expected. You put that all together. Phil Perry said, hey, Mac Jones still in the mix to start week 1. Will you go that far, or maybe will you go even further than that?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I'm at a 30%. And the reason is Cam isn't coming back to meet him. I've said it a bunch of times that if Mac Jones is going to start on September 12th, and I'm not talking about September 19th to 26th or October 1st. On the 12th, he has to win by knockout. There has to be an occasion in which the offense is suffering because Cam Newton's in there. And I'm not seeing it happen yet. Maybe we'll start to see it next week in Philly or in some of the preseason games, or maybe even against the Dolphins. But I just don't see it as him being an impediment to offensive success quite yet.
So, Curran, and I've been following along with you, and I take this as good news because I believe, unless I'm putting words in your mouth, you're telling me this is a real healthy quarterback competition. I cringed a lot early on when they were like, it's going to be a QB competition. When I'm like, yeah, it's the 5th quarterback drafted, and it's a guy who we saw absolutely stink last year. I looked at it as more of a, well, somebody has to start, but it seems that these two, whether the competition has brought it out in them, are legitimately presenting the Patriots with, dare I say, a decent option at the end of the day. Yep. under center.
That's a great, thank you for being so illuminating as to what the point is, the upshot of this is. Neither guy is going to win this by default. And that's what you want from a quarterback competition. And if you did a mashup of the two, they're very complementary. I mean, you got a power running quarterback, and I know that you're not looking for that. It's 2021, not 1942, but you got a power running quarterback who ran for 12 touchdowns last year. And you have a Chad Pennington incarnate who's way ahead of where you would expect somebody to be in terms of reads and getting the ball out. So that's why I keep bringing up the idiotic idea of a mashup on the field during games. But you're right, DJ. They are a nice hybrid of options.
Tom, let's talk about Hunter Henry. You know, the Patriots were excited to get him, and the only downside to Hunter Henry is his ability to stay on the field. Already we're talking about a shoulder injury. Does this make you, wonder, hey, is this the same old Hunter Henry injury-wise popping up again?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a big guy. He's certainly not Gronk-sized. He's not Kelsey-sized. He's kind of an average-sized big guy, which bigger than me, bigger than you, biggest guy in the room if we're hanging around. But on the football field, he's, not massive. And if you look at the way the injury was incurred, it was kind of I believe in kind of a one-on-one blocking drill, not a full speed thing. He didn't get landed on a tackle or anything like that. So I don't blame them for putting him in bubble wrap. I think he's going to be a valuable guy. You look at the B-roll right there. He moves well. I think he's been steady. I know he's smart, but you're going to have occasions when he might be limited as such.
And what's this offense going to look like, though, if those guys are going in and out? And I include Jonnu Smith there because we saw what the offense was last year, and it's basically, I know they added receivers as well. You've seen more from them than I have, but I mean, if Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith aren't good to go and they're in and out with injuries, aren't we kind of looking at a redux of what we saw last year?
You would be if it was Damiere Byrd, N'Keal Harry, Gunnar Olszewski, and Jacoby Myers as your leading wideouts, but that won't be the case this year. Additionally, I think that you're going to have somebody, if it is indeed Mac Jones in there, who can take advantage of James White. So those aspects of the offense will look different. But you're right. Matt LaCosse is better than Ryan Izzo. He would be your tight end depth, as would Devin Asiasi, if both of those guys went down. So it's certainly not ideal. But I think it'd be early to worry too much about, these guys are injury risks.
Word around the campfire here. and NBC Sports Boston is that you, Tom E Curran, Tom Ebenezer Curran, I know that's not your middle name, but are really bullish on the wide receivers. Is that an accurate characterization of how you feel about this group?
Bullish, Michael. And it really goes to Harry, too. I mean, I understand you're a little bit, circumspect about whether or not our guy with 45 catches is about to light a fire, but he has looked like the best wideout in some instances. And when he hasn't looked like the best wideout, it's because Kendrick Bourne caught everything thrown to him except on a rainy day and looked like the player that Malcolm Mitchell would have been. And if it's not that, it's Nelson Aguilar kind of doing a Brandon Cooks redux. And Jacoby Myers is doing things that he did last year, when if you prorated it over the season, he would have been a 90-catch, 1,000-yard player. I'm not saying that they're better man for man than a Kansas City, but when you put all the offensive stuff together, offensive line, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and a hybrid of the two quarterbacks, plus a pass-catching back like James White, they're pretty deep.